Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can hear my voice. Please give me a quick chat that you can hear my voice there so that I can start with the webinar. Thank you, everybody, for joining today's Fixies webinar. This is a webinar that we are organizing because of we know that how important food value chain understanding of food recall is, and therefore we have organized it. And today's speaker is Miss Jaya Khanduri, ma'am. She will walk you through the methods of food recall and how it has become a global importance in terms of food safety and hygiene and certain other factors. And that's why people who are in the food industry, the working professionals, the people who are learning about the basic fundamentals, it is really important for them to get to know about the basics, the real life scenarios, and learn from this, and then incorporate in the daily working they will go through when they are serving in the industry. So at the first, I will like to talk about our organization FIXI. We are widely known as the Food Processing Sector Skill Council. We are a body under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. We are a non-profit organization, and we are supported by various other institutes of FICCI and NSDC. We closely work with the ministry, the industries, several organizations, NGOs, and helping them to upskill and grow their programs, their skills in terms of development, what is being done in the industry, what they should know, and how they should prepare themselves for the upcoming future to work in the food industry. We develop various courses which are skill based, which are of real time industry needs. We also provide learning materials, we facilitate guides, we standardize trainings, we standardize the training centers as well. We make people qualify as trainers and then employ them to help build the skilled workforce. We also monitor the quality of training that they go through. We also validate them and take assessments so that we can certify those candidates and validate that okay, their skills are perfect and they are ready to serve in the industry. So I hope that everybody finds it important and finds it helpful in their journey of skill development for serving in the food industry. We at FIXI also are governed by several other institutes and organizations such as these, as you can see, and they all come together to help us in developing all this knowledge and information that we are passing down to you. And with our subject matter experts, with several institutions, we are developing what is important to be known to everybody who are in the food industry. Now I will ask today's speaker, Ms. Jaya Khanduri ma'am, to please start with her presentation today and by introducing herself. Ma'am, it's over to you. You can continue with the presentation.
Okay, thank you. So, is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Can you just share your presentation?
Yes, I'm sharing my presentation. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we can see it now. Ma'am, it is visible and you can continue.
Okay, okay.
Thank you so much.
So, good afternoon to all of you. Today we will discuss about food recalls, lessons from global food safety incidents. Okay. Okay, so Srishti, first I need to introduce myself.
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
My name is Jaya. I have 20 years of work experience while working in different food industries. I am FOSTEC trainer for different categories like milk and milk products, storage and transport. I am also lead auditor for FSSC 22000, ISO 22000. and I also impart Highfield International HACCP trainings. Okay, so this was all about myself. Today's training program is about food recalls and lessons from global food safety incidents. So let's start with the definition: product recall. So product recall, it is the process of removing food products from the market at any stage of the food chain, including that processed by the consumer, which may pose threat to public health, or food that violate the act or rules or the regulations. So next definition is food business operator. The person or company who undertakes, whether for profit or not, any activities related to any stage of food chain is known as food business operator. Next is the traceability. The Codex Alimentarius Commission has defined traceability as the ability to follow the movement of food through specific stages of the production, processing, and distribution. So traceability is the backbone of every food recall. Okay, so if you have a robust traceability system, you can recall your product easily. So traceability has further two parts. One is the backward traceability and other is the forward traceability. So backward traceability is one step back. Okay, so for example, you are a processor and you want to trace your product. Okay, trace means backward traceability means you want to know the origin of the product. So what you will do, you will audit your farm. Okay, so what you are going to determine during the backward traceability: which warehouse supplied the grapes, which pack house packed them, which farm produced them, which fertilizer and pesticides were used, which laboratory tested the samples, and the information that you are going to retrieve is the supplier name. You will get to know farm ID, harvest date, batch or lot number, raw material source, and laboratory reports. Okay, so these information or documents, these are going to help you during the product recall. So next is the forward traceability. Forward traceability is here what you are going to trace. You are going to trace where your product is going. Okay, so forward traceability identifies which warehouse received the batch, which distributor handled it, which retailer sold it, which export shipments include it, and information retrieved is customer details, shipment records, delivery dates, export consignment numbers, retail locations, and distribution channels. Okay, so this is how we are maintaining the traceability. Okay, by keeping all the records. Okay, so these records help in the forward traceability of the product and also the backward traceability of the product. Okay, so this was for the grapes. Okay, now suppose you are producing the product in the you are manufacturing some product. Say you are preparing some processed cheese product. Okay, so in that case, what will be your for backward traceability records? Backward traceability records will be the list of ingredients that you are using in your product. Okay, then the name of the suppliers which are supplying these ingredients, batch number of each and every ingredient. Okay, then the date of manufacturing of the ingredient. Okay, name of the supplier of the ingredient and the quantity which you are adding in your product. Okay, then next is after preparing the batch. Okay, or you can say after preparing the formulation, after doing the formulation of the product, next is now what we are going to do, we are going to process the product. Okay, so during the processing of the cheese, what we need to know, who are the people who are working in the processing line. Okay, name of the people, and the name of the machine or the identification of the machine which we are using for processing the product. Okay, then the packaging line, packaging batch number. Okay, the people who are working in the packaging. Okay, so all these details we need to document. Okay, so these will help in the backward traceability of the product. And in the forward traceability, same: customer details, shipment records, delivery dates. If you are exporting your product, export consignment numbers, retail locations, and distribution channels. Okay, so you need to keep all these records. So now here's a case study. Okay, case study related to the traceability. Okay, so why traceability is so important, why we are giving so much emphasis on the traceability of the product. Okay, so what happened in 2004, the grapes were exported to the Europe from India, from our country. So what happened, all the grapes were rejected. So why they were rejected? They were rejected because of the pesticide residue in the product. Okay. Then what APIDA did? APIDA is Agriculture and Processed Food Export Development Authority. Okay. So what they did in 2005 and 6, they made it mandatory, okay, for farm registration, field inspections, and laboratory residue testing. Okay. Then APIDA developed GrapeNet web-based traceability platform. Okay. So here what we did, what they did, they linked the farmers, laboratories, pack houses, exporters, and regulators. Okay. So now suppose a person in Tamil Nadu, he want to sell his grapes to Germany or to France. Now what he need to do, he need to register himself through the GrapeNet portal. Okay, and then he need to give his details, and then they also identified some laboratories through which you can do the testing of your product, and then you need to upload your test report as well. Okay, so what they did, they linked the farmers, laboratories, pack houses, exporters, and regulators, and then there was official launch of GrapeNet. Okay, so then after the official launch of GrapeNet, there was complete farm to export traceability. Okay, now the person who is buying the product in the France or Germany, he can by scanning the barcode, he can get to know from which farm from the India this grape is exported. Okay, what are the testing limits? Okay, or you can say what is the test report of this product. Okay, what is the batch number of the product? So everything was traceable now. Okay, so you can see what happened after implementation of this GrapeNet program. The export increased manifold. Okay, so you can see from this graph. Okay, so this is the importance of the traceability. So traceability helps in gaining the consumer confidence. Okay, so that is why traceability is important, and it is also important for the product recall. So next is the withdrawal. So sometimes we also use the word withdrawal. So the term withdrawal can be defined in three ways. One is the retrieval of the food item that did not reach consumers, and the retrieval of the food item because of reasons unrelated to the safety. Okay, so recall is mainly related to the safety. Here we also refer to the term national recall system, where the FSSAI on regulators are also involved. Okay, so withdrawal is mainly when it is related to the quality of the product. Okay, suppose you have you have dispatched some product. Okay, say it is cheese. Okay, it is cheese sauce. Okay, and you have dispatched the product, and then you got to know that the cheese sauce that you have dispatched to the consumer is not meeting the texture. Okay, it has some say thin texture. Okay, so now what you are going to do, you will recall the product. Sorry, you will withdraw the product from the market. Okay, so this is because of the quality issue. Okay, so the retrieval of the food item by food industries operators, in contrast to an action taken by the National Food Authority, is known as the withdrawal. So why do we recall the product? So there can be any of the below mentioned situation that can create recall situation. First is in case product is not wholesome or adulterated or contaminated. Okay, if there is, say, for example, there was a case melamine in red chili powder. Okay, not melamine in milk. Okay, or Sudan red dye in red chili powder. Okay, so what is this? These are the cases of adulteration or contamination. Okay, and in case the product is not properly labeled. Okay, so you have not written allergen declaration on the product. Okay, then again you need to recall the product. Okay, in case of violation of rules and regulations, for example, in India, you need to put veg or non-veg logo, and it is not there on the product. So again, you need to recall the product. Okay. So role and responsibility, role of food authority. Role of food authority is to monitor the progress and effectiveness of recall process carried out by FPO, to make sure recalled product is destroyed or suitably improved, can review license of FPO in case of serious defect in manufacturing, to provide termination of recall in case of effective process. And then the role of FPO is to take decision regarding the recall, to create recall management team, to inform regulatory authority in case food product may pose threat to consumer, to inform all in food chain from raw material supply to end consumer, to carry out recall process as per guidelines, to prepare and submit recall effectiveness report to COFSSAI. Now here are some of the major food safety incidents. Okay, for example, mustard oil adulteration. Okay, so what we learned from this recall. Okay, so there should be strong supplier verification program and testing of product is must. Okay, similarly in case of milk adulteration with water, detergent, urea, starch, and there can be synthetic milk as well, then what we learned, we need to strengthen the dairy surveillance and cold chain. So how food safety incidents help us? They help by developing the uh, food safety management system in any organization. Okay, for example, when there are food safety, for example, there was a incident of melamine in the milk. Okay, so melamine was added in China in the milk, because what happens when we are selling the milk for mainly for cheese making, or in some countries the milk price is given on the basis of the protein content in the milk. Like in our country, we are selling the milk on the basis of fat and SNF, but in some countries the milk is sold on the basis of protein content in the product. So what happened in China? Some people, they added melamine in the milk. So what happened when we are testing the milk quantity, the protein quantity in the milk? What we are doing? We are doing the test, for example, Geldal method for protein estimation. Okay, so in the Geldal method, we are measuring nitrogen. Nitrogen is the part of the protein. Okay, so in melamine also nitrogen is there. Okay, so what happened? So as to increase the quantity of protein in the milk, so as to get good price, the people added melamine in the milk. Okay, so there was a global recall because of this addition, because of this contamination of melamine in the milk. Okay, so what we learned from this recall, we all started testing melamine in the milk. Okay, so this is how, with the help by like with the recalls. Okay, so when we are getting to know about the food safety incidents, what we are doing, we are modifying our laws. Okay, for example, when there milk adulteration cases were found, the surveillance of the dairy product, it was strengthened. Okay, similarly in case of for example, artificial ripening of foods, the good agriculture practices and post harvest practices program was strengthened. Okay, so when there was spice adulteration cases or tomato sauce adulteration cases, better supplier approval and laboratory monitoring programs were devised. Okay, so when there was the incident of like Tirupati Laddu controversy. Okay, so there was the adulteration in ghee. Okay, so what we learned, importance of supplier audits, traceability and evidence based communication. Okay, so with the food recalls and food safety incidents, we are learning uh, the food strengthening programs, and we are implementing those also, and we are strengthening our laws as well. Okay, so now imagine that there is some problem in our product. Okay, or we can say there is some say contaminant. We are producing some kind of spices and there is some contaminant in the spices. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to initiate a product recall. Now what is the procedure for product recall? So first we need to assemble recall management team. We need to notify the authority. We need to identify all the products that need to be recalled, detain and segregate all products to be recalled which are in firm's control, prepare and distribute recall notice, press release, prepare distribution list, verify recall effectiveness, control recalled products, decision on recalled products, fix cause of recall if problem occurred within the facility with the help of CAPA, and termination of recall. Okay, so first step is we need to assemble the recall management team. Okay, so again, there should be different members from different departments in the team. Top management means the person who is going to make the decision. Okay, so top management should be there, human resource should be there, regulatory officer, quality control and assurance, sales, supply chain managers. Okay, so the team should include people responsible for decision making, quality assurance, technical advisory, media communication, complaint investigation, contacting accounts, food authority contact, and legal counsel. So first we need to assemble the team. Next is, so this is how you can document the team. Okay. Next is we need to notify the authority. So following information must be provided to the concerned regulatory authority. Detail of the product. Okay. So traceability details are like what is the name of the product, what is the manufacturing date, what is the use by date, best before date, batch number, quantity, then the nature of the problem, product defect, label issue. Okay, so there can be label issue also. For example, you have prepared some allergen free product and by mistake you have put the normal product label. Say you have produced some gluten free bread, okay, but you have put normal bread label on the not you have put gluten free bread label on the normal bread. Okay, so there can be label issue, there can be some product defect. Okay, or then you need to give the distribution detail, date of the distribution, location wise, quantity, label of affected product, quantity under manufacturer control, name and contact detail of company contact. Then you need to identify the products to be recalled, determine if any other codes, brands, or size of the same product are affected, and determine if any other product are affected. Okay, suppose you have produced some bread, okay, and there is some problem with the bread. Okay, now you have used the rework of this bread in the next day's production also. Okay, then you need to identify those lots or codes also in which you have used the rework. Okay, so you need to identify the all the products, and if you have used the same rework in the other brands also or in other products also, suppose this is the curd is there and you have used the curd in making chach or lassi or buttermilk, so you need to identify those products also. Okay, now detain and segregate the products, determine the location of the recalled products, for example, on-site, at the plant, off-site storage, determine the amount at each location, identify and segregate products to prevent distribution. Okay, so you need to record all these details. Next is now you prepare and distribute the recall notice. Okay, so you need to inform the consumers. Okay, so how you're going to inform the consumers? Through the press release within 2 hours after recall decision, submission of draft copy of recall to regulatory authority if required, hotline numbers must be made available for inquiries, and within the food chain, okay, the FBO shall inform everyone in the food chain from raw material vendor to the supplier and any other relevant retailer or trade association of the affected food by written communication, by phone, email, fax, or combination of thereof. So communication is very important. Next is the content of the recall notice. Okay, now you need to prepare a recall notice. So in the recall notice, you need to write the name of FBA carrying out recall. FPO. Okay, no, name of FPO, food business operator who is going to carry out the recall, you need to write. Then you need to give the product details. Okay, reason for recall, health warning and action, do not consume message, distribution detail, action to be taken by consumer, and contact details for query. Okay, so this is an example of recall notice. So here you can see they have given the company name. Okay, they have given the product details, they have even given the picture of the product also, reason for recall, health warning and action, okay, distribution detail, and action to be taken by the consumer. So this is how your recall notice looks like. Next is the prepare the distribution list, identify accounts, identify type of account, for example distributor, retailer, etc. Prepare list of accounts, name, address, and contact details, and assess quantity at each location. Now next is verify the effectiveness of recall. FPO shall verify effectiveness of recall process. Must ensure that all accounts have stopped distribution and sale of recalled batch. Ensure affected lot returned to the central location. Next is control of the recalled products. Okay. Now the FPO need to control the recalled products, separate and clearly identify recalled products. Okay. Reconcile the quantities and monitor returned products. So this is very important. Okay, suppose you have produced 100 kgs of bread or 100 numbers of bread, so you need to reconcile. Okay, so you should be able to trace those 100 packets. Okay, so you need to check all your data that if some products have been taken by quality people, some R&D people, some as a sample. Okay, so you need to reconcile the quantities. You need to consider all the products. Okay, and monitor returned products also. Record the recalled product in the recalled product record document. Next is decide what to do with the returned product. Okay, decide on the action to be taken on the recalled product. For example, correction, re-export, or destruction. Okay, so there can be correction also. For example, there is some problem on the label only. Okay, so what you can do? You can correct the label. Okay, for example, veg or non-veg logo is missing. So what you can put the veg or non-veg logo. Okay, sometimes you need to destroy the product. Suppose there is some metal piece in your product. Okay, so but during the processing there was some breakdown in the machine and then the metal got into your product. Okay, and it was dispatched. So again, in this case, you need to destroy the product, or there is some pathogen growth in the product. Again, then you need to destroy the product. Okay, find out if authority wants to witness, verify that the action has been taken. Okay, so sometimes food regulator, they may want to witness the activity. Okay, so how you are destroying the product. Okay, verify that the action has been effective. Record the action taken for each product in your recalled product record document. So next is the fix the cause of recall. Okay, put controls in place or revise existing controls to prevent similar problems in the future. Okay, so how we are going to fix the cause of the recall? By finding the root cause, by doing the root cause analysis. Okay, so how we are doing root cause analysis? By using different techniques like 5 whys can be used. Okay, or you can use fishbone analysis, or you can use Pareto chart, or you can study the whole process for your product. Okay, for example, there can be a case that you have added some cleaning chemical to your product. Okay, accidentally you have added some cleaning chemical to your product. Say you are preparing bread. Okay, and instead of salt, you added, say, caustic to your product. Okay, so how it happened? It happened because there was no traceability on the say, you can say, on the bin which was carrying the salt. Okay, because salt and caustic, they both look alike. Okay, and there was no marking on the container which was carrying the cleaning chemical. Okay, so now what you need to do, you can use the 5 why technique. So why this happened? Because the container was carrying the cleaning chemical instead of the salt. Okay, so why? Because there was no label on the container. Okay, so why there was no label? Okay, because it was not in the procedure. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to label all the containers. Okay, so this is how we can use 5 why techniques, or we can use fishbone analysis, we can use the Pareto chart. Okay, or we can study the whole process flow diagram and then find out the root cause of the problem. Okay, so these are also known as brainstorming techniques. So next is the termination of recall. FPO shall submit recall termination request along with the recall effectiveness report to the CEO FSSAI. CEO FSSAI will verify the effectiveness of recall. If found effective, written notification for recall termination will be issued by Food Authority to the company. So after After getting the termination of recall notice only, the food business operator can start the production again. Okay, and if it is not found effective, orders for further inspection, seizure, or any other legal action against FPO needs to be taken. So this is how FSSAI they have launched a new digital food recall system, and it is available at Fosco's portal. Okay. So you can see the product recalls through this portal. Okay, so you can see here, recall ID is there, FPO name is there, brand name is there, batch number or lot number of the product is there. Then the name of the products are there, reason for recall, then recall start date, recall status, and recall termination date. Okay, so this is the Fosco's portal from where you can track the product recalls. So this was all about product recall. So if you have any question, any query, please do ask.
Anyone, if you have any queries, please write it down on the chat box. We will ask those questions to ma'am. Or you can raise your hand. We will turn on your mic, and then you can ask your question. If anybody has anything, then please you can go forward and ask your questions. Okay, so
Yes,
we have a question.
Yes. So there's a question like, do we have any fixed format? Yes, you can visit FSSAI website. There is a procedure for product recall. You need to follow that procedure, and there are forms also. So you need to fill all those forms. Okay. So it is there.
Ramesh has a question. He has raised his hand. Please let me know if you can come on the voice mode and you can ask your questions.
Okay, so there is one question from Irfan Ahmad. Should the recalled products be reused? Recalled products can be reused. Okay. For example, if the recall is because of the labeling issue, okay, there is some problem with your label. Say you forgot to put veg or non-veg logo. What you can do? You can change the label. You can put the veg or non-veg logo on the label, and then you can send it back to the market. And sometimes we are using recalled product for animal feed also. Okay, for example, suppose you have recalled the product from the market because of some baking issue. If you ever, if bread is there, okay, so it was overbaked or underbaked, so you can use it for a poultry feed, animal feed. Okay, so a recalled product can be reused. Okay, it depends. If it is safe for consumption, it can be reused. But if it is unsafe for production, then it needs to be destroyed.
Yes, ma'am. We have another question. If you can see, Shubham Raj is asking about what skills and knowledge should I focus on to help prevent food safety incidents and effectively manage food recalls in the future.
Okay, what skills and knowledge should I focus on to help prevent food safety incidents and effectively manage food recalls in future? Okay, so first you need to focus on food safety. You need to know the hazards which are associated with the product. Okay, and while working in the food industry, you need to focus on the hazards. You need to focus on how to control the hazards. So when we are controlling the hazards, for example, by learning, say, HACCP programs. Okay, so you can implement HACCP programs, food safety management systems in your organization. So by implementing all those things, you can prevent and you can control the food safety incidents. Okay, and you can also manage the recalls. Okay, so HACCP is a is a kind of tool which helps in um effectively implementing food safety and controlling the recalls.
I think Padma's question has also been answered in this. She has also asked about the skills should I develop to work in the food safety and recall
Yes.
management.
Yes.
We have another question. In packaged drinking water, what shall be the recall procedure? Ma'am, if you can just give a small little overview on this. I think this will be a fast process, but if you can just help this new person out.
And yes, like procedure for recall is the same. Okay, so procedure is not different. Even for drinking water also, you have to follow the same procedure.
How can small and medium-sized food industry prepare for a food recall if they have limited resources?
Okay, so they have limited resources, but they need to like for recall what we need to have the traceability, backward and forward traceability. Okay, so backward traceability is whenever you are buying ingredients for preparing your product, you need to keep the track of all these ingredients. You need to keep the record of all the ingredients. Okay, so this is for keeping the records. You don't need much resources. You need to know from where you are buying your product, if it is FSSAI approved vendor or not. So what is the batch number of the product, what is the quantity of the product that you are using, okay, what is the date of manufacturing. All these details you need to keep for all the ingredients. And when you are dispatching your products, you need to keep all the dispatch records, and during the processing you need to keep all the records of the machines and the people who are working in the processing line. So these are, so for I don't think much resources are required for keeping all these records. And then most important, you all need to conduct mock recall. Okay, so mock recall helps you in knowing the documents which are not there, like it helps in finding the loopholes in your system. Okay, so mock recall is must in every organization. Okay.
Ma'am, we have many more questions coming in. There is
Uh-huh.
a question that what are the different categories of recall as per FSSAI and recalls
So
of
there
high
are,
risk product?
Mhm. So there are mainly three types of recall. So first, class one, class two, and class three. Class one is when there is a serious problem. Okay, so for example, if there is some kind of say salmonella contamination in your product, okay, health issue, it is related to the health issue. Okay, and second type of hazard, second type of recall is when it is when there is some contamination, but it is not that much serious. For example, adulteration. Okay, so you have added say salt in your milk, but it is not going to cause serious health effect. And third type is when there is regulation violation. For example, you have not placed veg or non-veg logo on the on the label, or milk logo is missing on the milk and milk products. Okay, so these are three kinds of recalls.
Okay, so the similar questions are there actually
Uh-huh.
coming up. Ma'am has already answered those questions about skills and certifications and
Mhm.
experiences to. So, ma'am, what are the experiences in terms of like what does a fresher in the food industry who's working or maybe has a year of experience should
Mhm.
know or should have in terms of developing the skills?
So food safety management system is there. Okay, the most important and basic is they
स्टोर
need
के
to
नीचे
know.
साइड में
Okay.
यहाँ ताला का हुआ तो उसको फिर तो आप उठवा लेना, ठीक है, उससे आप मैनेज कर लेगा। कोल्ड रूम के सामने दुकान टूटी है।
Ma'am, please let me know if you can turn on your mic.
Yes, so as I have
Yes,
already
ma'am.
explained,
Yes.
HACCP is there. Okay, so this is the risk management tool. It helps in avoiding the risk, or it helps in controlling the risk in your facility, in your industry. And second is, as Srishti has already shared with you, the this recall management program. Okay, so you can go through this program also. Through by going through this program, you will get to know how to manage the recall, how to prepare the team, all the steps in detail.
Yes, we have more questions into it. We will take this one. What are the most common mistake companies make during a food recall?
Yes. So sometimes what happens, like in my previous company, so we were conducting a mock recall, and we were not able to find the customers, all the customers, because what we are doing whenever we are supplying the product to the customers, we are just making the invoice. Okay, but on the invoice we are not writing the batch numbers. Okay, so we need to write the batch numbers also when we are supplying the product to different customers. This batch number helps in the traceability of the product. So this is the common mistake that companies make. Okay, so when we are delivering the product to the customers, we need to put the batch number also so that we can trace our product, that where this batch has been sent.
Okay, so we have another. We have seen
Uh-huh.
FSI raids on various FBOs involved in malpractice. However,
Uh-huh.
recall from FSSAI is barely seen. Ma'am, what
Mhm.
are your viewpoints on this?
Recall, it is very difficult to make product recall, especially when the people are selling, say, there are halwai shops which are small shops. Okay, so you cannot trace the customers. Can you trace the customers? Recall means you have to get back the product from the customers. So can you trace the customers? Tell me, is it possible?
This is not practically possible,
It is not
right?
practically possible. Now you don't know. For example, when we are passing from some street, we buy the product from some sweet shop, but the sweet shop owner doesn't know, like, where I live. You know, so it is difficult to trace the
Yes.
customers. But the only thing is what we can do, what FSSAI is doing, they can train the people. Okay, they are conducting the trainings by picking the samples, by testing the samples. They are training, they are making the people aware. Okay, sometimes it does happen that people are not aware about the malpractices. Okay, for example, I have seen one person, and he was adding one say a pickle manufacturing person. He was adding sodium benzoate in the pickle, and I asked how much quantity you are adding. And he said, ma'am, you just put a handful of this sodium benzoate and you will see that this pickle is not going to get spoiled for years. Then I told him this is carcinogenic in nature. Okay, you should add in ppm, parts per million, milligram per kg, you need to add it, not like this. But that person was not aware. Okay, so how FSSAI is working, they are picking these samples, they are getting these samples analyzed on their own because people cannot afford, street food vendors cannot afford, and then they are educating them. Okay, so this is what FSSAI is doing, but food recall is very difficult. Food recall is possible only in case of organized sectors. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
when it is not organized, you cannot do, you can only educate the people. And sometimes it happens that people are not aware about all these malpractices. Okay, so one of the vegetable vendor, he told me, ma'am, there is one way, like, for the brinjals, what you can do, you wash these brinjals into easy. Easy is again a chemical, it is used for washing clothes, and then you will see all the vegetables, they will become brighter. Okay, but that person was not knowing how harmful the cleaning chemicals are. Okay, so what FSSAI is doing, they are making the people aware, and food safety is a shared responsibility. Okay, only FSSAI cannot, um, like, they cannot reform the system. Okay, everybody needs to take the responsibility, like food technologists, like the students of food technology. What we can do while going through the streets, we can also tell the people that this is wrong and this is right. We can see the people. I Many times people are selling samosas, people are selling pineapple in the newspapers. Okay, again, newspaper is not allowed, but they are not aware. Okay, so I think
Yes.
food safety is a shared responsibility. Everybody has to play their role.
Yes, ma'am. So another big tech student is asking about would you recommend attending a FOSTAC training program before graduation? how beneficial it is for internship and future opportunities. This is something interesting that every student has there in mind. So, ma'am, what are your views on this?
Yes, so I would suggest, yes, everybody should go for prospect training program, FSMS. Okay, so what happens once you know about all these things, when you visit the industry, when you join the industry, so you are not new to the things, you okay, this is going to add value to your knowledge. Okay, because you already know, you already have the vocabulary with you, you already know what is GMP, you already know what is pest control program. So when you see that this program is implemented, then it is easy for you to understand the things. Okay, so when you are going through these training programs, so these training programs are going to help you, and they are going to strengthen your CV as well. Okay, if there are two CVs, one with the FOSTEC training program, one is without, so it will add value to your CV, FOSTEC training program.
Okay, ma'am. Because of the times crunch, we will take only one question that is
Okay.
here. It is
Mhm.
like, if there is any violation of FSSAI laws in any food
Uh-huh.
company, does FSSAI trials on FBO only or on the quality team who has affected it, while who are working in the company? Many say that. So, what are your views on that? That FSSAI comes and chooses the company's employees, and the people who are working there who are only responsible, or there is somebody else they also hold responsible for any situation like this?
No, it is earlier there used to be a nominee. So it was nominee's responsibility. Nominee was responsible for implementation of all laws and everything. But now everybody is responsible. It is not only the one person, everybody is responsible. Okay. So it is not only that the quality department is responsible. Okay, so that is why FOSTEC training programs are there now. So everybody is attending FOSTEC training programs in the food industry. Like for example, if there are say 100 employees in a food industry, 4 people are attending the FOSTEC training programs. So when they are attending the FOSTEC training programs, they know about all the rules and regulations. And if there are problems, so they are also equally responsible. Okay, because they know about the regulations, and then there is violation. Okay, so like it is not only one person. Okay, so all people who are working in the food industry, they are responsible, and there is a team. So we have seen there is a product recall team. So whole team is responsible for implementation uh, of these regulations.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, then we will stop our Q&A session. I hope it was really informative to anybody else. And we will continue with this, that ma'am has given a huge overview on the food recall aspect that everybody needs to know. But in order for you to continue to know what is going on the national and international scales, we at FIXI have developed various courses, also with the association of an international body, which is known as the International Food Protection Training Institute, which comes under the US FDA, and they have developed their courses, and we are in joint certification with them. So the students who wants to get to know more about what is going on the global frontier as well as the international scale, and how at the international scale you're going to prepare yourselves while working in the industry, so that when you're working in the company you can help them in the global export market, in the regulatory aspect market, or to yourself develop your skills and knowledge to go and stand against with the international standards. So I will highly suggest everybody who is interested in the regulatory affairs, the food safety aspect, the understanding of the food traceability chains, supply chain management, to go and subscribe to these courses. They are available on our learning management system at elearning.fixi.in. You can go there and check out those courses. Jaya Khanduri ma'am has also helped us in preparing of some of our courses of HACCP implementation, then internal auditor mapped with FSSC 22000, which will also help you in developing this knowledge and this skill sets that we have all discussed here today. So you can continue with your knowledge. And yes, on completion of these courses, you will go through an assessment and you can get a certificate which will help you in enhancing your CV as well. You can put this on your LinkedIn profile, you can put this in your CV, you can talk about it, and you will have a certifying document that will prove that okay, that you know the knowledge, and therefore you are a verified and truly educated in terms of a food industry professional, and it will help you enhance your skill sets. So we have developed various some of these courses, and also from the US FDA standpoint you will know about the foundations of what goes into the making and the real understanding of the procedures of recall, of traceability. You will learn about risk assessment, how to do it, how to document if something goes wrong, how to take corrective actions, what are the communication channels if such a problem occurs within the industry, what are the recall processes as ma'am has already discussed with you, and how the products which are in concern, how do you deal with those products, whether do you recover them, you can use them, or you have to go put them into rejection mode. You can learn all about it in our courses that we have already established especially for you. And since you are all from the domain of food industry, food science, technology, it will be highly beneficial for you, not just the beginners who are building up their career, but also the people who are practicing in the industry, who are going to through the day-to-day lives, and they are thinking of okay, I want to learn something different, I want to enhance my career. And as India, we are going on a global frontier, on a global scale. You will want to enhance your skills in terms of a global standpoint also. You want to know maybe what are the standards and what are the measures that US FDA is taking, what is EU taking. So in order to be in terms with what is going on internationally, it will really help you if you can visit our e-learning platform and check out the courses for yourself, and obviously reach out to anyone at FIXI. We have our social media dedicated for you, and where you can reach out. We can also take you through our courses, and also you can visit our courses. There is a scanner here. You can visit that, or you can just go to www.fixi.in or elearning.fixi.in and know what are the courses available for you. And lastly, I want to thank Jaya Khanduri ma'am for being with us and sharing those valuable information with all of the students and the learners here, and from our entire FIXI team to be here with us. And she has had a long history with us also, and we really want you to see in future courses and in future webinars also. So thank you ma'am for helping us out here.
Srishti, can you please share the link through the chat box, because some
Yes ma'am.
Yes, some students are asking for this.
Yes, sure.
Okay, Srishti. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You can go into the chat box and see. This is our website where you can find all the courses that we have shown here in the PPTs as well. You can go into the collaboration sector and find all these courses which is lined with the US FDA terms, and you can understand what are the global regulations, what are the procedures they are following, how it is different from our own national standpoints, and you can enroll yourselves, get certified, and get this course done so that it can help you in the future. I thank everybody who has joined. Please check out our social medias at LinkedIn and at Instagram, where we continuously on every week we will be doing a separate topic on a webinar, and you can get in touch with the SMEs and